Okay, and welcome back everybody to today's coding session. Let's get right into it. So last week we left off here. So I'm basically working on this final project here for CS50 web. So that's cs50.harvard/web. Here it is. And this is the course that you want to take if you're just finishing the main course, CS50X. You want to go and head up to CS50 Web if you want to become proficient at JavaScript, if you want to learn Django and React. And I really think that this is what kind of sets you up to be a well-based full-stack developer. Again, there's still a lot to learn after this course, as you've been seeing in this live stream, as you're gonna see today. But at least the foundations are very strong here, and you do pick them up quite easily. So I highly recommend you go into this course after your CS50. So we're working on the final project here for this. And the idea is that we're going to make an application which is slightly more complicated than any of the homeworks, which makes sense. And what I did basically is I just drew here the scheme of the whole site. And one feature that we have is a feedback feature for users to submit suggestions for improvements. And another one that we're currently working on is support. So let's jump right in and see what that looks like at the moment. I've already coded most of the stuff. And today we're going to see how we can integrate that with Cloudflare. And so here's the app. I did have to reset my database at some point. So some suggestion. So you can see I can suggest a feature. I can add some comment. And so that functionality is pretty much done. There might be some room for improvement here, but I'm moving on. I think it's good enough now just to turn this in, even just to get the first batch of users. Afterwards, we're working on this help feature, which does what it says. It's just a way for users to be able to go ahead and watch the tutorials, learn how to use the app, and if they have any issues, they would obviously browse through here through the like the category that they want to see. I try to make this as clear as possible, where it is that they need to look at, what they need to click on, and if they need any help, there's this button here, request support. There's also over here contact support, and down here it says contact us. It all goes to the same place. So it basically goes to this form here. And what does this form do? It just allows them to type in some details and to upload a file. Now, for this file upload, I don't want to upload that to my server. I want that to go straight into a third-party service, such as Cloudflare. And so, if you guys remember from the previous diagram, we have here like what the idea is. So we have the user in between, and Cloudflare does a ton of stuff. They have probably 50 different features that they have. I'm just focusing on their CDN at the moment. And the point is that the user would submit the data. Some of that data would be stored on Cloudflare. And then basically my server and my database only stores the URL of that file in Cloudflare. And that's the idea. So I actually went through a bunch of tutorials online on how to do this. And I learned a lot. So let's just take a look at what exactly I did. So this is a feature that is working now. And again, I had to do it sort of outside of the live stream. There was a lot of first of all, it was the first time I was doing it, so I didn't necessarily want to it took me a couple of tries to get it to work. And also there's a lot of stuff that has to do with secret keys and codes and all this sort of thing, which are particular to my Cloudflare account. And so I kind of did all that outside. But the idea also here is I learned a lot of stuff. So first of all, I learned how to implement Cloudflare on my Django project, how to integrate that. And a lot of that had to do with working on the settings.py over here. And this settings.py here is you're looking at it right here. This settings.py here is a file which the course doesn't necessarily teach you what to do here, but it's a file that you're going to learn a lot about if you're trying to deploy your application onto the server. And so one of the things that I learned here is, if at all, about the environment variables, which, if you guys remember, I spoke about how I went to this Python conference recently, and they had a whole PowerPoint about how to optimize your Django settings. One of the things that I learned is that you should be using environment variables for all your secret keys. So I managed to implement that here. And I think I'm using some library. I think it's called this one. It's called decouple, the decouple library. I'm using their config function to point onto basically a constant on my environment file. So I have an environment file with a bunch of constant. Each constant has my secret key. And then yeah, the secret key, I kind of just point to it. And I believe that I did, yeah, so I did the same also for Cloudflare. You see I have like all these random constants which are all secret keys, and I'm just referring them using this config function here. So that was something nice that I learned. And obviously I had to set up on the Cloudflare like a new account. I had to input in some personal information, payment information. Even though it's a free tier what we're using right now, they still want to ask you for a credit card to set everything up. I also had to set up the bucket and set up the keys and everything. So everything has been set up. And basically, in order to test this, I discovered this other feature. Not discovered, I just hadn't used it in a while. So I basically discovered that I don't think I'm going to need to go ahead and write up this dashboard here for my administrator. So if I'm the administrator, I want to see my open cases. I want to work on tickets. So I want to have a way to look at what's going on, like what problems I still need to work on. Django actually offers you, via the admin interface, a way to do this without having to code anything else. This is something that's already in Django. And to do that, I'm just going to go in here, type in admin, and in here you see. So I've already created this section down here called support, and it's called support requests. I only have some sample data at the moment, but basically I can see here all of my requests, and I can add other features there, which I haven't done that yet, but I can add here also to this table here, like to sort by active. So when someone submits this form, what I'm basically, as the administrator of the site, what I'm going to see is this Django administrator interface. I'm going to click on my support request. I'm going to click on here, and here is what the user just submitted, for example. And if I go onto my the photo that they submitted, you'll see that this photo is actually stored on Cloudflare, and it also has a path, which I had to set that up as well, and the path eventually goes onto something called support requests. So think of it as like a folder called support requests. That's where I'm uploading all of those files, all of these files that come in through this form here. So that's sort of I guess what you guys missed that I didn't stream. And here I can mark, whenever let's say I'm working on a ticket here, I resolve the issue, so I can just mark it here as completed. Maybe I could write some logic to notify the user that the ticket has been completed, but I think that would be more of like a next version 2 of the app. For the alpha, I'm just trying to get it published with the minimum, my MVP, my minimum viable product, which is really, it's just like a demo. I'm just trying to prove that, there is a need, and that I am filling a particular a void with the app. And so that's it. I think I could even edit so this is all using like the Django models. I could edit here, and this will be the equivalent of me having a look at the Django model spreadsheet and just directly editing the fields there. So I could do it like that. Active, inactive. So I have all the options here. I also have the social accounts that I added here. It's a way to log in using your Gmail account or your GitHub account. They have a bunch of different services that you could connect. And so, yeah, so basically what we have left to do today, I've basically written the logic between the model and the file storage. So basically what I've managed to link is my models to Cloudflare. So every time I create a new model, there's a function in there that will automatically upload everything to Cloudflare. And that's what you're seeing here. It's this function here that says screenshot. So it's models.file field. And then it says upload to support requests. Okay. This upload to route, I guess it's not really a route, it's a method. This upload to, I guess you could call it a method or property of this model. What it's going to do is it's going to reference whatever I set up as where this actually goes to in my settings file. So in here actually, and I wrote also a different file to reference all this stuff. So in here I set up, hey, whenever I tell a model to upload to here, this is what you should do. You should go onto Cloudflare, you should upload it, you should do this, you should store the URL here, whatever. And so eventually in this screenshot here, it's all automated, but what I get in the screenshot field is just the URL. And that's the power of Django, that it's already, there's a lot of libraries, and really Python in general is amazing. Like there's so many libraries that you can just factor out all the complexity of actually making this happen. Really, it was just like a half-hour tutorial. I managed to implement all my variables, implement all my functions, good to go. I didn't have to implement anything from scratch. It's all from a library. And voila, and that works already. So now what's left for today, really, the next step would be to actually connect it. Like I haven't actually connected it yet, meaning when I send this request, when I send my support ticket right now, I believe it's just like rendering it in the console. I have to take that data now and send it to my server and actually use logic in the server to store the data in the database. And so let's go into, so settings we don't need right now. Index of feedback. I don't think we need that one right now. I might reference it later. We'll see. Contact support. I think this might be what we're working on. Yeah, I think so. So we'll put this over here. And my models of support. I don't think I need that either. I also don't need this. So I just have contact of support. And hold on. My URLs have already dealt with all that stuff. I added here this all auth URLs for people to be able to log in using their Google account, for example. Views of support is what we're going to be working on right now. I think that's everything I have here. Let me see. Admin.py, I don't need that at the moment. Index of support. And views of support, views of feedback. I'll take views of feedback out for now. URLs of feedback out, URLs of support out. So I'm just leaving it here, kind of clean it up a little bit. And so I have my views of support, and I have my index. So index of support is actually already kind of, this is already done. As you can see here, this page is nothing much to add other than fixing up why these videos are not responsive. I'll do that at the very end. That's more of a YouTube thing. But here, this functionality is already all working. So I could close out of here, this index of support. So I'm just left with contact of support, which is this page here. That's what we're going to be working on. And our views. Fine. So let's open up here our console. And yeah, so I have my handle form submit. And let me see here. I also want to leave open my admin just so that you guys could see not the app, but the admin. Support requests. So right now we only have one support request object in there. And obviously we can customize this however. We can actually make this look like an actual like ticketing interface where I can just literally just manage all my tickets here. Maybe set it up to push a button and call the actual user, and then mark it as complete, whatever, or even message them from here. You could. This is actually very, very powerful, and this says Django administration at the top. You could obviously update that to your own logo, and really, it's like a full solution. Like you can definitely offer here to people, to make for a company the app that they actually that their users use. Plus, you can also make the app so that their administrators can use it and handle things around. Okay. So we have this here. Let me just take a look quick here. We have contact. So we have contact here. We have a post request and we have a render. Okay, so this return render here, because of the way the if else is working here, it's going to only return if the request is get, which is what this is. Whenever you just load the page, it's a get request, it loads the form. If I want to submit it, I'm using a post request. So if request method equals post, I want to grab the user ID from my request.user ID. And right now I'm sort of debugging things at the moment, so I'm gonna go ahead and just print it out. So I want to print that out. User, teleport user, whatever. Print data, and then print all this stuff. And if it fails, go to my support index. So right now I'm actually going to skip creating the actual object in the database. I just want to go ahead and you know what, I just want to go ahead and create the new object, print it, but not save it. Basically I want to see that all my other steps are working before I actually start messing with the database. Let's go ahead and just type in some text, some test here. Let's just say test2, my email address is whatever, okay, and my phone number is whatever. I'm gonna just browse a random image, so it'll be, let's just say this here. So I click browse, put that in there, and that's in. The problem is requesting a feature and whatever text I have, right? So now if I click on open support ticket, I should see multiple things. I should see some output here in the front and also in the back. Let's see. All right, so we see a bunch of stuff here actually. So we can see that our JavaScript, I guess, is working correctly. Like, it's definitely loading everything. It's giving me a description, email, name, test phone, problem type, screenshot. Okay, and I guess that's what it's sending up to the server, and then the server is catching that and printing my user, my user ID, my username. It's also printing this whole thing here, like the actual JSON load of request.body. So that's the actual JSON, the actual dictionary with all the values that I submitted. Then it's doing request to, it's doing this as well. Support request object none. So then it's printing the object, which we didn't set in the models what our, you see there's nothing here that tells the class what should it print whenever it just wants to print you. So maybe we could add that. Let me see. Just looking it up quickly here on the chat. How to add a print statement to a Django model at the end. So it's usually at the bottom. Just remember the exact syntax here. No, that's not what we want. That's not it. It's something that starts with, I think it starts with 2 underscores like that. Yeah, that one. Yeah, so we'll copy this onto here. And again, we have to indent that once, I believe. Let's try that. So we'll hit enter here. See, we're on the same indentation here. We'll paste that. And def string self. So this little this method here, what it does is it'll define how the model should print out, basically. Instead of printing just the object, like how you see here, instead of saying support request object here, we can leave it like that. We can update our database here. So we do Python manage py, make migrations. Oh, it didn't do anything. Okay, let's see. Maybe we don't even need to do that. It could be we don't need to do that. I don't know. Run server. Reload here. Yeah, so you see we changed what it says here now. So let's just rename it to I'm just gonna say from, it would be self dot, and then we can take a field from here. So we can do self dot user dot username. Hit period. Status. Let's do self dot status. And we could do one more maybe. We can do problem type. Type. And obviously we can customize this a million different ways. I'm just sort of filling in this as an example. Self dot problem type. And this will probably change as I use the app more and see what works, what doesn't work, and then we can fine tune it from there. Type, problem type. Let's see if we reload here. So you see now it's giving us different text here. And I might add an ID here. I'm gonna add here ticket, and we'll do self.id. And maybe we'll bracket it just to make it a little bit stand out a little bit. Now I don't know if you can format this and how much you can format this. I'm saying bold, I'm saying italics. I don't know exactly. It's not like a div per se, but at least you can kind of see here what the idea is. Okay, so we now the type is okay. Here's not coming out right, but it's a different type what we need. Fine. So that's right now in our admin here. We can see we have one ticket open. All right. Let's see a user submits another one. Now let's try to write a little bit more logic here where I want to match actually all my fields here. And let's save it. Why not? I think we already proved that all the functions, all the JSON, like wrapping things in a JSON, then afterward in the front end, and then once you get to the back end, you unwrap them. Everything really seems to be working. The only thing that's missing really is to start writing things onto our database. So I'll go ahead and take this out. And I'll take out the print statements also. I only had them in there just to prove, because it wasn't I couldn't make this work before. And so I started printing things and trying to diagnose things and trying to debug. It eventually turned out I was just missing a line of code up here, import JSON. That's why my code wasn't working. I forgot to import the library. But now everything is working. I'll take everything out. Okay, so now let's run through this logic again. So what are we trying? We're trying to see if all these things exist. If they all exist, then it means that we can move on to the next step. So we have our user ID, request.user ID, user teleport users, objects get. We have our data here. So we have name. So I just want to match these. So we have, by the way, I'm writing all these things here, like the form. There's no relationship between my form really and my model, but Django does offer a way to basically tell Django, hey, I'll have a model. I want to make a form out of it, and then push that form to the front end and then render that as a form. You could do that in theory. I'm not going to go and rewrite my code, but let's say that for the next time I have to write a form on this app, I will be using that just to practice. But I mean, the functionality in the end of the day is going to be the same. It just makes it so it's a little bit more strongly typed. It's a little bit more like it's a little bit harder to mess with the input fields and for the user to hack onto your website. But that's the bottom line, basically. User ID, user, we have data, so now we're going to match it. So we have user My status, there's going to be a default, so I don't have to worry about it. Default, these two things, whenever I create a new model, Django will give them default values, so I don't really have to input anything there. My user, I'm already declaring that here and getting his object, and that's what I'm going to pass to make a new model. Timestamp, again, is auto now true, so I don't have to worry about it. Django will assign a new time. So now my name, so I have my name and my email. Those are the next ones here. So I need here a name, and I need an email. Email, name and email. So I have my name, email, phone. I guess I have that already. I need a screenshot. Would be data of screenshot. So screenshot equals data of screenshot. Problem type equals that, and my description is my description. Okay, and that's it. And then when we want to create a new request, we're gonna open a new object. So we'll do user equals user, and then we have name equals name, email equals email. You might be wondering, why am I typing the same thing twice? It looks like I'm typing the same thing twice, but I'm not. All these ones in blue are fields from my model. So what I'm saying is, for that model field, use the variable called email. I just happen to name them the same, but you can name them whatever you want. I just feel it's easier this way to look at it quickly and see that all these match. So it must be that I have the correct thing going on. That's all. Email, and then we have phone, screenshot equals screenshot. Screenshot equals screenshot. Problem type. Problem type equals problem type. Description equals description. And new request dot save. So let's try that and see how it goes. Now really our code should work. And let's take a look in the front end. I am printing this at the moment, I believe. Hold on. In our front end, so after we submit to the server, it's gonna wait for a response, and it's gonna if there's an error, it'll give us an error. Let's see. It's before it even sends it to the server, it's logging it in the console, so we'll be able to see. I don't think I need that at the moment, so I can take that out. And so we're not really doing anything after we submit the form. Eventually we're gonna add some logic here to maybe show a little success message, something like that, and maybe to erase the fields, but we'll get to that. And I think that's it. Let's reload the page here. Let's submit a new form, a new request. Testing. So my name is admin. Let's say I'm admin at admin. My phone number is that. My screenshot will again be this here. I have a problem, which is I'm unable. Please help. We'll click open support ticket, and we are getting an error. So where's the error coming from? Let's go on our ticketing dashboard here. Let's reload it, and I don't see that anything was added to the database. So I'm wondering, where is the problem here? I have a couple guesses, but we'll see. So let me just ask the AI. I want to send a file for screenshot. Is this code correct? It could be that I don't have I'm not passing the file correctly to the Django. Django I know it already works. I spent a whole day connecting it to Cloudflare, so that does work. But I'm not sure that the connection between the front end and Django is working. So let's see. In React. No. So maybe I have to upload it directly from the form. Is that what it is? So I am resetting the data. Sorry, I submitted the wrong code here. I will submit this saying, is this the correct thing to send to the Django server with the screenshot inside the array? I don't know if we need a different thing. We might. I don't know. Like, to send the file to a Django server, you need to use form data to handle file uploads. Here's a general idea. No. Let's see. So form data. Okay, so this is exactly what we need to work on. Let's say that should I just set, can I set the screenshot as a file? Got it. Okay. Yeah, so basically it's not we don't use an array for the screenshot. We would need a file in here. That makes sense. Hold on. So this set form data, we're gonna have to edit that. Here, if name, we'd have to do something like this, I believe. If name is equal to screenshot. So we're gonna run this other code here. Else do this, and that's what we're gonna do here. With my set form data. So yeah, so if name equals screenshot, we need a different type of thing going on, like a different function. So that will be this one here and right there. Okay, that looks good. Now we just need to edit that to say this line here. Yeah, so it would be this one here. So we'll leave, this says here, it's just, we're gonna leave everything the same, and the screenshot event.target . . I guess we could have used a separate function for all this. That's all that could have also been. Doesn't really make a difference, I guess. Input type is file. I do have that as a file. Ah, got it. So that input type will get passed on. So that would be here. Yes, we have the handle change function and the type is set to file. So I think it'll just put that file inside of that one. It's really an array of one element. Let's try it out. And so I don't know if I need to initially initiate this. Yeah, I'll just leave it as this. So I wonder if it would be files of 0 here. Hold on. So here we have our class name input. The value here. Where am I getting my value? Yeah, so here my value is equal to form data dot email. Got it. So it's actually, I don't need separate functions. I think I am just complicating this more than it needs to be. It's not making too much sense right now. I think that the code I just wrote is totally unnecessary because here I'm already declaring that it's a file. So we have, where's my value for my so it's form data dot screenshot. So it's using a target files. I don't know. I actually don't know if this is the target. How to add the target. How to extract the target from a div. Like the value field here, like the value field here. Got it. So he does want me to do it like that. Okay, so we'll leave it as it is. Form.data of screenshot, we'll leave that as is as well. Although it really sounds like we don't even need that value there. Seems like we don't need that there. And the screenshot, we're still initiating it to an array. And our function here is using that array. What should I initiate? What should I initiate screenshot as? So I'm wondering if I'm doing the right thing here. As null. Got it. Okay, so we'll do null here. We'll set it up as null. Maybe that was the issue. We had this array, we had this other thing. A lot of things going on here. But now we're setting it up as null. Whenever I submit the form, it's gonna handle the change, and it's gonna ask if the name of the field is screenshot, it's gonna run this. Otherwise, it's gonna run all these other ones, which I think should be fine. And let's try and submitting it again, see if it works. I'm gonna reload here. And now this is already a problem. Got it. Okay, so if it's name of screenshot. Sorry, I did the wrong thing there. Yeah, let's fix this up. So it should be, what it should actually say is if it would be form data equals screenshot hold on, It won't be. I wouldn't be form data. It would be this here. Yeah. So if the name equals screenshot, then I'm gonna run all of this here. Else, I'm gonna run that. Let's try that again, and it's loading. That's already good. Let's try again. So we have test current user, current at Gmail. It's my phone number. We will just take a screenshot of this and add it to here. The problem is the payment failed. Please help. Someone asking for help. Okay. Open support ticket. And we're still getting some type of error here. And if we load our ticketing dashboard here, it's nothing new loaded there. So that is not actually working. I do see the support post request here. So let's try and stop now saving it to the database. Let's just go ahead and try to and by the way, I don't think I'm seeing it in Cloudflare. Let me just take a quick look here at Cloudflare. Hold on. So I have it here, and I have my buckets here. So here's my bucket. It says it has 138. I didn't tell you this, guys, before, but I am also hosting my static files. So then when I publish my app, all of my CSS, all my JavaScript, all my images, everything will be already on Cloudflare. So, by the way, this tutorial that I did was amazing. It was like I killed 2 birds in 1 stone. I managed to connect my file uploads to here, and I also managed to partially publish the app onto the server, basically. We have here the media, and then inside here we have support requests. I see I only have 1 image in there, which corresponds to the 1 ticket that I have here. So this is not working yet. I'm gonna go take 1 step back. I'm gonna stop saving it here, and I want to just print out that new request. So I'll do print of new request. Now my problem might be there, might be here. We'll see. We'll start taking a look here. Let's try and fill in this thing again with whatever. We'll browse the same image and report a bug. Right, so now I'm definitely connecting to the correct server route, and I'm getting the correct actions there on the server, which leads me to believe that I have a problem with this function here. So I'm going to go back a bit and basically get rid of it. Just keep going back. Yeah, let's reload it. Okay, it's working. Let's take a look here again. So they want us to do let me see if I can just do that. That would be great if I could just do that. That's basically what we're looking for. So it would be here, upload screenshot. So in the value here, I wonder if we could just do this, you know, like event.target.files. Can I do this? I do this. Please work. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and just because this is different or very different from from the rest of the form, I'm gonna get rid of this code here. I'm gonna actually change handle file change, and then I'll make a new function just for that. I think that makes the most sense. And I'm probably gonna want to run it in here, like after everything else updates. Yeah, let me just do this separately. I think that as much as I like condensing functions and you know, and variables and everything, let's just do it here. So that would be file data, and then I'll do set file data or data, whatever, wherever you are. Use state. I think it will just be a use state of null, right? I'll take my screenshot out of here. Let me reload here for now. So it's not working. Hold on. Let me go back. I'm doing it a little bit crazy here. So let's go back a little bit. This is working now, right? No, it's not working. Okay. Handle file change. I'm gonna have to add a bunch of stuff here. Yeah. We're gonna have to add a ton of stuff here. Hold on. I'll leave it in here. I'll just set this as null. I guess I'm just scared that if because I have that value in there, I wonder, it starts to get a little bit weird. Like if name is not equal to screenshot, if name is not equal to screenshot, then I want you to run this. Else, I'm still going back to this if else, which is not great. So I have my if else here. Okay, so if the name is not equal to screenshot, do this, else set form data No, this is a problem because we have to pass the value onto here. Yeah, we go back again. Okay, this is working. So the value here has to come off. And then I need a handle file change. I feel like I should have a separate component just for file uploads, but that's a different story. Let's take screenshot out of here. That was the original idea. Let's take this out of here. And then we'll do const of file data set file data equals use state of null. And then I want to define my function here, handle file change. So my handle file change const. It's not a const, it's a handle file change. Okay, takes in the event and it runs set file data and from that event I have access to event.target.files 0, and we're only uploading one file right now. So I believe this is correct now. Now I sort of have to combine all this stuff now before I submit it to the server. So I'll try to add here like a file field and literally just pass my file data. I don't know if I need to JSON it. I'll try. Why not? Does this load? It is loading. It really does seem like it's loading. And I do need to... The file data, I'm passing it just as a raw file. I don't know if I need to... Screenshot is equal to... It would be request.file. So my screenshot here would be request.file, basically. Let's try that and see what happens. I'm just printing it at the moment before saving it to the database. So forget about it. Let's just print it. Let's just save it as well. Let's try that. So admin, upload that screenshot, open support ticket. So I was able to post it. Let me see if it shows up here in my tickets. So I didn't manage to save it to the database. So hold on. I'm really wondering what the issue is here at this point. This might resolve it. I don't know if this is the correct answer to all this, but this might actually resolve it. I think it might be just loading like the old data, not the updated one. So we can try that. No, the use effect doesn't like that. I think it was a use effect on somewhere else. No, no, no. Am I even printing out? Maybe I should start printing out here my console log. So let's console log our file data, and also console log our form data, which ideally should be the same thing. All the information should be in one array or dictionary, whatever you want to call it, dictionary. For some reason we had to separate it now. Okay, so let's try again this thing. Interesting. So I am getting this weird file type, size, name, last modified. The file's definitely in there, and my object as well. So before I even save this thing, let's try again. Let's try again taking a look. I think maybe we have a problem here. We'll try to JSON load it, and we'll try wrapping it over there. Maybe that's part of the solution. I'm not really sure. We can JSON stringify that as well. Let's see. So I'm not even making it up to here. Let's try. What are we trying? Let's try and print something else up here, like the file. Let's try and print screenshot. Again, I'm not familiar with all this detail here of the actual file object, but that's what it is. I definitely see it in there. It is passing it on. Maybe I'll take this JSON out. I'll take this out. Reload. Again, I heard today this is what makes you a good developer. This is literally it. It's figuring out why the program's not, like, getting good at debugging, basically. Okay. Okay. Let's print up here this and try again. Yeah, so we did print the phone number, as you could see, which means that our problem here starts here. That's where our problem starts. So Is this correct? Okay, so this is basic. I just see we're hitting about an hour now for our live stream, so we're gonna stop here and we're gonna continue tomorrow. Thank you for joining. I didn't see anybody leave any comments today, but if you have any questions, just comment here. And yeah, this is how it is. We kind of made some progress and then we're getting stuck here, and hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to resolve it. So wishing you all the best, continue coding, continue growing, and see you in the next coding session. All the best.